tomorrow's our Friday.
Yep.
So,
All right, go ahead.
good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me in today's cooking demonstration. I'm not going to be doing too much cooking for this one as well, but since it's the summer, it's hot and it's very humid out there, and I decided to go with with the recipe, frozen treat recipe that we want to treat as such, something nice and refreshing for the hot summer days. And Fourth of July weekend is right around the corner. So I wanted to do something to appease both things, right? So what we have today is I guess I could, yeah. What we're gonna be doing today is frozen treats, frozen popsicles. I'll show the end result or I'll show the result at the end, what it comes out to. But they're red and white popsicles, really fun to make, really easy, with literally 4 ingredients. I'm actually going to be doing 2 recipes. One, if you have the time and you're wanting to get a bit creative, and again, this is just to inspire people. Maybe you have other ingredients or fruits or in your home that you'd like to use and try out. But these are the ones that I chose, especially for 4th of July weekend. So all we need for the first recipe, the red, white, and blue pops, is watermelon, blueberries, and your favorite. This is my favorite yogurt, low-fat vanilla Greek yogurt, and again, I'm going to use that for white. I go with a choice. So there's a few ways to go for the blue when you're. A lot of these recipes will see like red, white, and blue, but like the blue is kind of like purplish because blueberries tend to be the one go-to ingredient for this recipe. But when we puree blueberries or anything, they come out like a dark purplish. So I like to use a 0-calorie blue Gatorade. It gives a nice little blue with the blueberries inside. It gives a nice little color. So easy enough, right? Fun to do with the kids. And I'll just quickly get started. Now, whichever molds you use, typically you're not going to need too much of the ingredients. Anything between, if you're doing like 8 servings or 10 servings, then you might want about 2 cups per ingredient. But the one I had, which was able to be cut, because typically this is an 8-tray ice pop maker, and they're very, as you can see, they're pretty small. So a lot of the ingredients are going to be under an ounce, which is actually really great because again, these are snacks. These icicle pops are 40 calories and less, so you don't feel bad when you're enjoying it. It's got some protein in there with the low-fat Greek yogurt, and it's a treat that I can get around. Again, it's hot, it's summer, and it's very refreshing. So first step, right? When you cut up your watermelon, you're gonna put it in the blender or fruit processor and just puree that baby, right? Once it's all pureed, you can leave chunks if you want. If you don't, right? If you like yours more smooth. And some of the recipes you see online too will call for like a cup of water and a half cup of sugar. You honestly don't need that, and that's one area where you can cut out on sugar and lower the calories. If you're watching and tracking your calories. So easy step, right? Puree your watermelon and simply pour. Again, this is about 0.8 of an ounce, 0.8 ounces. This is the red part, right? So again, just doing red, white, and blue ice pops. And switch hands. All right, just about the same. And again, these are very easy. So easy that as soon as you put them into the freezer, they instantly. I'm just kidding. They don't instantly freeze, but watermelon doesn't take a long time to freeze up. So typically the recipes will call for, we'll say about an hour, hour and a half. If you turn up your freezer to 5, you can cut that down to 45 minutes, pretty quick, because again, watermelon freezes pretty quickly. It's 92% water, so again, it's not going to take too long to freeze. So once you have frozen your watermelon, right, this isn't going anywhere. Again, it's a very simple recipe. You can do it. Can do it with the kids, and depending on the size of your molds. Again, these molds aren't that big, which again, they're just snacks. They're treats, right? The next step is to stir the white part. So again, I like the vanilla. It gives a different with these pops. They give different textures or with these ingredients. So with the watermelon, you get a very like ice shaved texture, which is very fun. With a Greek yogurt, you get that nice creamy texture. And depending on how long it takes you to eat it, it will you can eat it with the other ingredients, as well as however you enjoy your popsicles. And then with the gators and blueberries, right, you get the whole chunks of the fruit, which also fun to bite into if you like frozen fruits. And the Gatorade gives a nice little like icy, not like shaved ice, but more just like hard popsicle consistency. So again, with these popsicles, you get so many different textures. It's a lot of fun to eat. And so yeah, what you're gonna do is, if you have a nice little if you're doing 8 like altogether, what was easy for me was to grab a little baggie, and place your yogurt inside, and then just squeeze all in. So I can quickly demonstrate that, right? So again, just as easy as that. You don't have to spoon anything, because again, these molds typically are they're popsicle size, so they're not going to be and if you, they don't have a lot of big openings, so you have to figure out little ways like this to make it easier and stuff, right, and less mess. So once you have the white parts of your red, white, and blue popsicles, you can put more into that if you'd like. But once you have that all said and done, at this point you're going to want to place your popsicle sticks inside. And if you have some foil, wax paper helps too. Cut anymore, right? You don't want to waste this. Just going to create a small little hole and cover. Now the yogurt part does take a little bit longer to freeze. I would suggest about 2 hours. You get a nice consistency throughout. And the longer that you do freeze your watermelon, the less of like mingling you get between the ingredients. So it's a good idea to make sure that your watermelon is nice and frozen, because again, once you could get some like marbling between, which doesn't look bad. It's not the worst thing, but if you're going for presentation, you want to keep that in mind. Once you let that freeze, right, a good 2 hours. Second part, right? Easy peasy. All right, and then again, easy part. I'll quickly just transfer this. Wash that out. And if you don't want to use Gatorade, one good substitute, like if you're trying to go for the blue, right, is to and it's a little bit longer, but you can let the blueberries simmer at a low simmer, about a cup of water, depending on how many blueberries you're using. Let those phytonutrients mingle, And once you get that nice bluish, it'll be a little bit darker, obviously, since the blueberries are darker. But you can go about it that way. And if you don't want to use the Gatorade, but I like using the Gatorade. It gives a nice little color. It's a refreshing taste afterwards as well. And simply just pour it right in. Right? You don't want to make a mess. And then, sorry for the portion out one. Blueberries. About 3 to 4 blueberries, depending on the size, is going to be a good. Good measure. Make sure you wash the blueberries right, and voila. Some will sink to the bottom, some won't. Can kind of help them out by pushing them in. And I'm gonna go with 3 on here just because it's a little bit stuff. So the hard part, depending if you're using like the molds that come in 8, right, is getting this aluminum foil back. There are the ones that I do have a whole bag with the lids, but I don't really use them. I like the popsicle sticks a lot better because the lids tend to break off. And so with the popsicle sticks, they have a bit of a better hold. And I over pour just a little bit. It's okay. It's not, All right. And so once you have your third section, right back into the fridge. Again, I just did the ones for this cooking demonstration, All right, and then once you wait another hour or so, I would say about 2 hours, the Gatorade doesn't take a lot long to freeze either, but this is the end result. And a good tip, just, run some water through it, let it sit on the counter for a little bit, maybe 5 minutes, and they'll pop it right out. And bam, we have a nice creamsicle, pop creamsicle, because again, you have different textures. You can use different, you could use frozen blueberries as well. It's just really up to your preference or what you have on hand. Again, it's a fun little recipe for 4th of July, nice and refreshing. Now, if you're just wanting something quick and you're like, Eder, I don't really like dairy, or I don't like Gatorade or any of that. Another really quick, delicious frozen fruit pop is applesauce and any assortments of berries that you may have. So utilizing the same berries that I have on hand, or you can get creative and mix it in with the watermelon. I also have a few other ones in there that are still, I kind of got creative last second, and I was like, oh, let me see how this tastes with the cream, and it's like marbled in there with the watermelon and the applesauce. Once it freezes, I hope it comes out good. Watermelon and apple. That's the fun thing about recipes, right? They're just like backbones where you can build off of and you can be inspired from. So this one's really simple as well. Again, just as easy as. Now, again, depending on the molds that you have, I have these. These are about 4 ounces, maybe a little, give or take. So you really only just need about a cup. If you're doing 2, like I did 2, 1 cup was great for 2. That mold this popsicle mold brings 6. So you just put about a little half cup more for. And again, just super easy. About a cup. Any questions so far? Any suggestions or any other ideas that anybody else may have right now?
Well, do you need to add water to the applesauce, or is it because sometimes it's chunky, sometimes it's thick, sometimes it's watery?
Yeah, right. Depending on the one that you have. I actually didn't add any water, you can definitely. This is unsweetened applesauce because, right, you have the fruits and the berries that'll give it that natural sweetness. And you can even like let it just like linger, and it'll kind of give that like since berries kind of have that little how would you call it? Has like a little sour taste, tanginess to it, and of course the raspberries do as well. It's kind of fun to let them sit and and really get to know each other, right? In the sauce. So about a handful. Remember, you only want to wash the berries when you're ready to use, and right back in the fridge. Don't want them sitting out too long. All right, and then just about another handful of blueberries. Just as simple as that. Get a little mixy glue in here. Nice and covered. And again, just as simple as pouring into the mold. Pouring into the mold as without making a mess, right? So let me hold that down. And, all right, we're rolling. So yeah, it really depends on how thick your applesauce is. This one, to me, it was easy to pour. It wasn't too bad. And then bam, just as easy as sticking in your popsicle stick, covering with foil or however you want. If you want to use the molds that come with it, but again, I find that they tend to fall off easy. And here we are. I had this one kind of sitting on the counter a little bit long, but it wasn't as but they're really great, really fun to make. Super simple if you're not trying to do the whole 4th of July thing, and yet still be kind of festive. You can, right? The red and blue. So very tasty, very fun. Takes typically within about 4 hours for each. You can leave them overnight and reward yourself with a treat afterwards. But they're really fun, really great for the kids to get involved and make. Super easy. You don't have to boil any water or anything. Just use the natural sugars. And again, I go with 0 calorie because right, we don't need any more sugars, any more added sugars. And so yeah. If there's any other questions or any other comments?
Well, we had a comment in the chat. Laura said it looked nice, very appropriate for July 4th. And then Paula said she made pear pops for her grandbaby.
Ooh.
She boiled, blended, and poured them into the container, and she loved them.
Yeah, super good. And you can also get really creative with other citrusy and like basil, fresh herbs. Those are a lot of fun too. Great for the summer. Lime, like zest from limes and stuff. A lot of great. These are such fun, creative ways to treat yourself and treat those near you, without having to buy any other processed popsicles from the store.
Ruthie just commented saying, "I like this. Can we do some more of these short, yummy demos weekly?"
Yeah, sounds good. We definitely
We'll see what we can do.
Well, we'll try.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I can post the recipes. Like I said, it's kind of these are one of the kind of recipes where you can really just eyeball it. If you want to get very meticulous with the serving sizes, again, they're about with them. It really depends on the molds that you have, and the popsicles are 40 calories unless you can't be mad at that. Like, it's might be a bit tempting to eat more than one, but yeah, no one's gonna say anything.
Yeah, perfect. Any other questions from anyone? Comments? We got a lot of thank yous and happy 4th. So thank you all for joining. Carly, anything?
Okay, that's it. If you want to decide you want to, Ed's going to be with us for another week. His next demo will be, what's today, Wednesday, next Wednesday. Wait, let me stop recording. Hold on.